So, good morning or good night, depending on where you are in the world. And welcome to another interview of the Shield Dude on a Couch. I'm your host, Hector. And today we got Brandon from the band Your Spirit Dies, which is a metalcore slash hardcore band from South Carolina. So, we're here to talk about their album that's coming out on May 2nd. It's called My Gnawing Pains Will Never Rest. So, Brandon, how are you today, sir?
I'm good, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing good. So yeah, so I know this is your debut full length. You had a few EPs here and there,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
yeah, and you're releasing this with Mark MNRK Heavy, which is
Yeah.
a cool label. I think Darkest Hour is now in that label, and
Oh, yeah.
some cool bands. So yeah, Your Spirit. I really enjoyed this because I listened to the album and it was like metalcore hardcore, but I thought that you had some like inspirational, like hopeful lyrics mixed in with some bleakness. So
Yeah.
tell me a little bit Brandon, about obviously, yeah, for people that don't know Your Spirit Dies, a little bit of background on the band.
Yeah, so we started kind of at the tail end of 2019. We played our first show and released our first EP in 2020. And then obviously 2020 happened and a lot of things got shut down. So we were kind of at a halt for about a year, a little over a year. And during that year, we just said, fuck it. I can cuss, right? We can cuss on here, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, we just kind of said fuck it, and we just started writing for another EP that we released back in like 2022, and that was the one that we were able to actually like tour on and like actually do what we needed to do with, you know.
And now you got your full length. So how would you say that the band has evolved from those EPs to the full length that you're dropping in May?
Well, we've had like quite a few member changes. Once like touring started happening, like older members couldn't really, invest as much time into the band. So in that we got like new members, new inspirations. Yeah, as far as evolving, I just think like I don't know, we've just gotten tighter. The influences have correlated a little more, and everybody's just really good about putting their 2 cents in. And each person kind of has like their own taste. So that taste kind of gets brought in by each person. We make sure that we can try to shine a light on like everyone's influences, you know. So like that's why there's like a lot of black metal influence. There's a lot of death metal influence. There's a lot of metal like early 2000s, late 90s metalcore, hardcore, you know, like we're kind of like all across the board. We kind of wanted the band to be a band that could tour with anyone, like if we wanted to, you know. Um so yeah, as far as evolving, we've definitely broadened our sound a little more. We've gotten a little more intricate in like the way that we write and stuff.
Awesome. So you being the singer and main songwriter in the band, like what were your like musical idols or influences that make you?
Um, well, a lot of my influences come from like the early 2000s metalcore. I listen to like a lot of modern like death metal or old school death metal and stuff like that. But grew up listening to like a lot of we're a band from the Southeast. So religion is a big thing where I'm from, you know. So for a while, I was only able to really get like Christian metal CDs. You know, like I'd go to the local Christian bookstore, and there was like this one guy who would stock bands like Zayo, which is like probably our biggest influence when it comes to like one of my biggest influences lyrically for sure. Because Dan is like, you know, Zayo was like a Christian band, but they had a lot of darker imagery and a lot of religious imagery is dark, you know, but a lot of darker lyrics that kind of correlated with like what they were. So that's where a lot of my influence come from. Bands like Under Oath, The Chariot, like, when I was a kid getting into metal, these were all the bands that were just like, oh wow, this is awesome.
Yeah, and what heavy imagery in Christianity, like a half naked dude
Yeah.
with some nails to.
Being, you know what I mean? It's psycho shit. It's awesome. It's like it's
Yeah,
great.
yeah, you feel, yeah, when you're little, but now when you see, it's like it's kind of brutal looking.
Oh,
Which,
Bible's like one of the scariest books ever written. You know what I mean? Like it's like there's so much crazy shit in that. Like it's insane.
yeah. So obviously, I listened to your album. I don't think you're a religious band, but you do have an interesting song that focuses on religion, the on just God,
Yes.
which I was reading some of the background, and obviously it had to do with you, like where you came, your upbringing, where you like religion. Tell me a little bit about the concept for on just God.
Unjust God is about like the things that contradict itself in religion and like seeing like growing up and seeing the problems in what modern day Christianity is, and just seeing like I don't know. It's definitely more so about a personal struggle with religion because I think every single member of our band grew up in church. Like growing up, like our parents were very devout Christians, and um, I think a lot of us started questioning a lot of things from a very early age and kind of just trying to like decipher what it was. So that's what that song really touches on a lot is just like our personal struggles with religion.
Yeah, that's like when you question like because I was reading and it's like is God just, because sometimes, well, it depends on which God, because because I grew up in a Catholic school as well. The Old Testament God is all about revenge, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's very bitter, and then the New Testament he got like a little bit like more lighter.
But yeah, like I'm chill now. You know what I mean? That's what it.
I already killed all those people, so I'm good.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
So yeah, that's a cool song, and also the name of the album has a biblical sense in it. Like by knowing pains will never rest. I was reading. I don't know from which verse of the Bible, but I was reading that it had something to do with it.
yeah. It's the Book of Job. A lot of the stuff is based off of that book specifically, the Book of Job, and there's like a line in it where it's like, "Night pierces my bones, my gnawing pains will never rest." Obviously, it's said way more biblically and like old school than that, but like that's just like what it translates to. Yeah. So that's where I got the name from.
Yeah, it's a cool name for an album. And I don't know. These last few days, I've been seeing a lot of things like doing with religion because I don't know if you've seen that Heretic movie. Uh,
Yeah, that in movies. Yeah.
yeah,
It was great.
I didn't think Brand would be scary.
Yeah, yeah. It was like crazy because me and my girlfriend we went and saw that movie in theaters, and when we walked out of it, we were just kind of like, "This is like almost like our everyday life when we were kids." You know what I mean? It didn't really feel that like shocking to me for some reason. It was a great movie. Like the way it was shot and everything was incredible. But when we were like walking away from it, I was like wow, like I feel like I'm supposed to be more afraid than I was, but that's like all stuff that I actually dealt with. Like it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it is a crazy type of movie, but very well written. So
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
I want to show the artwork of the record.
Hmm.
Pretty cool. Uh, okay, here's the artwork for the record. So uh, I can tell that there's like a woman there, but I like it's like blurry. Tell me a little bit about this artwork.
The artwork, we just like there's a specific artist that I followed on Instagram a while back. They're called Welder Wings, and they do like really cool like Renaissance style paintings and stuff and manipulation. Um, so like Yeah, I saw that and I was like, wow, this kind of fits the vibe of the record because it was, the record is very based on a lot of old school topics and a lot of topics about religion and all that. And it seems like that, like those two kind of correlate a little bit. And then my buddy Zadak, he's the one who did all the layout. So he's the one who put like the weird lines and stuff all over it and kind of did like the digital manipulation and made the logo. The whole band is like pretty avid like Meshuggah fans, so we were like, this just seems like something Meshuggah would do. It's awesome. Yeah.
Oh yeah, cool. Yeah, it looks like a Virgin Mary of some sort.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I don't think it is, but it is pretty close. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it is pretty close. So yeah, it's a cool artwork. So I wanted to ask like the meaning behind the artwork for that one. So besides religion, you also have like more personal topics that you do, especially in the song that I saw the music video for "In the Depths of Grief,"
Yeah.
which it has to do with like with your relationship with your mother and how like reminiscent of like you like because when we're growing up we don't look at we like we're growing up but also our parents are growing old.
Yeah. And I don't think it really settles in until you start to get older. I think like because mine and my mom's relationship was pretty rocky when I was a kid. Like because obviously like my mother's very religious. Um, and from a younger age, I started having like questions about all that and kind of started rebelling against a lot of that, like by getting into metal music. You know what I mean? Like my mom was very anti this world of what I do music. She was not very understanding of it. Um, but then like man, it's like time as time passed, I stopped being bitter, and she stopped being bitter. I'm 31 years old now. I don't really have time to hold on to grudges from when I was 16, 17 years old. You know what I mean? So our relationship has gotten much better. But she, at the end of last year, she's just been battling a lot of health issues. And at the end of this last year, for about 3 months, she was in the hospital. And I, like seeing it coming while writing the record, just like watching, because when you see your parents, like you think of them as like these, uh, like you just think of them as like they can't be killed, like they're unstoppable. You know what I mean? But as you get older and you start to see their bodies start to decay and they get tireder and tireder, it's like, okay, I don't have forever with this person. So that's what a lot of that song specifically touches on.
Yeah, so it's that one's more like a personal song for you.
For sure, very personal. Yeah.
Yeah, the album has like 12 tracks. Another one that I think is another of the singles is Serpentine.
Yeah.
Uh,
So
what's that one about?
that's about narcissistic people. If you've ever dealt with a narcissist, I'm sure you have. Either whether it be someone in your family, a friend, someone you're in a relationship with. Like, I think we've all dealt with someone who's up their own ass. You know what I mean? Who just thinks that they're God. Like it's just that's what that song's about. It's about narcissistic people and how much you want to kill them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a line in the song, something like at the end, there's like a breakdown.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit, how was what's your writing process like when you're writing these type of lyrics?
Um, I don't really know, man. I definitely like when I get into the groove, I start reading a lot of like poetry. I'll hit the local bookstore and kind of like go to like the areas where I'm like, oh, maybe like, maybe I want to write a religious song. So I'll get some like old religious book and kind of like read through it and kind of come up with like really pick out some lines from it that stand out to me. And then I'll like on a piece of paper and I'll try to like base a song around that, like one specific thing. Um, my writing process is a little bit slower. I have to be in a specific headspace to be able do that. Like if everything is, because let's be real. I mean, yeah, like some of our lyrics definitely have like an uplifting message, but no one wants to hear songs anymore about like, oh, my life is great. You know what I mean? Because we're like surrounded by sad shit every single day. You know, like you turn on the news, it's depressing. Like you go outside, it's depressing. So like, I don't know, if I was writing songs about like how much I love my dog, you know what I mean? People would be like, I relate, but like, I don't want to hear that. You know, so it's like a lot of just sitting down in the dark with like a piece of paper and just writing until I feel like I'm going mentally insane, you know?
Yeah, I don't know if that sounds healthy, but it's a good
Not, definitely not, for sure.
to get some stuff out. So, what other themes are you covering on this record?
A lot of political stuff, a lot of religious stuff, a lot of personal stuff with like um, dealing with narcissists. But that, I mean, that's like the main topics for the record. The political stuff is making a pretty heavy impact on this one, I believe.
Okay. Well, we lived in a world, a politically charged world, or like saying stuff that happens nowadays. So, yeah. So the album's gonna be out. It's still in May, so it's still like a month and a half away. So, are you guys gonna do some shows? What are the plans
We
for the?
Yeah, we have some shows starting I think May 9th because the record comes out May 2nd. We're playing just some like local regional shows in the southeast. We're playing markets that a couple of them we haven't played in a really long time or never have played, but a few of them are very like personal markets that we love. Like we have a lot of friends in them. We played there before, and we just have a really good time playing these places. So for the record release, we were like, yeah, like let's just focus on that, like getting to play shows with our best friends in this band called Wielded Steel, and just yeah, hanging out in the southeast where we're from, and you know we feel comfortable here, and we love playing shows here.
Okay, so yes, a few shows, and so you'll be busy this year for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah. So when you pick the name, Your Spirit Dies, what was the inspiration for the band name?
Okay, so that like the band I talked about, Zayo,
Mhm.
um, which we had the feature on Serpentine with Dan from Zayo guest spotted on the record. I like had like a bank of band names that I pretty much just got from Zayo lyrics. I know this isn't the most creative answer, but like I was just like so obsessed with it. Yeah, I was like, I can't hear you. I don't know if your mic's off.
Oh, I said, but it's the truth, like you're saying where you're from.
Yeah, yeah. So like we just like dug through and like I was like I had like a few song title or a few band names I had written down that I liked, and two out of three of them were like Zayo lyrics. And the band just went through and we were just all talking and they were like, well, you know, like that's a big influence on the band. Maybe it would be cool to just roll with something like that, you know? It's like lyrics from a song that they have called Kathleen Barbara. It's kind of like a deep cut Zayo song from like that era, but like one that I always loved. It was like a shorter interlude top song and stuff.
Yeah, I've listened to that band. So the singer from Sayo is in which song?
He did a guest spot on Serpentine, the song we just released.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, that's an awesome song. Does he do? Yeah, that's an awesome song. Yeah, so yeah,
Yeah.
have him on there, and obviously that being a big influence on the band, even your band name. Would you say that that would be like a cool, like if Sayo told you guys let's go on the road together?
We have toured. That's how we came in contact with one another. We played a show together here in Greenville when we were just mainly playing local shows. And eventually Zayo asked us to go on tour with them. We did I think like 4 or 5 shows around them playing Furnace Fest. I think 2 years ago,
Awesome.
and that's how that friendship formed. And it is a crazy thing to like call them friends. You know what I mean? Like, because it was one of the most influential bands on me when I was a kid. So like, I have Dan's phone number. Like we talk and we text and we just talk about weird doom metal bands. You know what I mean? Like it's awesome.
The good thing is that you met your heroes and they didn't turn out to be assholes.
And that's all I can ask for in today's world, man. The music industry is littered with assholes for sure. So.
I'm sure it is. Yeah. So, Brandon, it's been great to chat with you about Your Spirit Dies and the upcoming album.
Yeah.
So where can people pre-order the album?
We have the link in our bio that you can do. You can go to the Monarch Heavy website. It's mnrkheavy.com. We're definitely on there. I think we have a colorway vinyl, t-shirt, and some CDs. So definitely head over there and pre-order, because pre-ordering helps us land tours. It helps us do anything. The sales mean a lot. So
Yes, yeah, and I've talked to bands before, and they're like, the better the pre-sales, the more opportunities you have to land on, and for people seeing you live.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll post the link for people who want to get that. So, Brandon, before I let you go, anything that you'd like to say to the fans?
Start bands. We need more bands. We need more good bands. Specifically, learn how to play drums. Drummers are cool. You should play drums. But yeah, I mean, I think that's like a big thing right now. There are so many people stepping into the like hardcore. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of more popular now than I think it's ever been or has been in a while. So it's just like people should start bands. Like we have all these newcomers, learn how to play music. It doesn't matter if it's good or not. Like just pick up an instrument, figure it out, and then you'll figure it out as you go. My first bands were god awful. And I'm just now in a cool band. You know what I mean? In a band that I deem as good. So it's like it takes time, but
If you don't practice, you don't get better.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, you got to do it.
Yeah, well, there's some bands that can practice. There's some bands that will never get better.
Oh, without that, they are there for sure. Yes.
that, that happens, but yeah. So, yeah, good advice. So basically, do not listen to Gene Simmons from that rock is dead and everything sucks and no, you can't, and no, there's no good rock bands. There is. You just have to go out there. So yeah, Brenda, I want to thank you for taking some time to chat with me. So Couchers, Your Spirit Dies full length. My Gnawing Pains Will Never Rest out May 2nd. So yeah, again, thank you. And so until next time, Couchers, this Hector, the Shield Dude on a Couch, and I'll see you all right here on the couch. Thank you and goodbye.